All right, what's up, everybody? So today it's about Vagner Rocha Martial Arts School. So we're here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're at 6592 Taft Street. On the other side, you can see City College across the street, and then that's what you see all around. That's the Mixed Martial Arts School. If you follow me, I'll show you the main entrance. And at the end of the building, that's the main entrance, just under JiuJitsu. And then I'll show you what's up inside so we can all have a great training together. All right, let's go with the flow. So I'm here with Vagner Rocha, and let's see if I can survive one round without getting submit maybe 2, 3, 5 times. I don't know, let's see.
Did good, did good.
Come on, man, get your photography.
Get underway, Jazz. Jeez.
It's always a challenge.
So I'm here with Vagner Rocha. So how you doing, Vagner?
Doing good.
Doing good. So I want to know, and I'm pretty sure everybody want to know, were you born in Brazil?
I was. I was born in Brazil. I moved to the United States when I was 5.
That's why you speak that good English.
My English is perfect. Yeah, I went to school here. I didn't even go to school in Brazil when I was young. I did kindergarten through high school. So I'm 42 almost. So I've been here for 37 years. So I'm Brazilian at heart, but I'm American up here. So.
Okay, so differently compared to other Brazilian who, because they were in Brazil, they started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. How you started your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and was that your first martial arts?
It wasn't my first martial arts. I did Taekwondo when I was younger. My dad was a very small man, and he thought I was going to be small like him. And I got a little taller than him. And during that Taekwondo phase, I took some time off, going into my teenage years. And then I remember watching the UFC and the Gracies, and I thought to myself, I was like, man, I need to learn this Brazilian, because I was Brazilian,
also, yeah,
jiu-jitsu, martial art, you know?
Yeah.
And there was some coincidence with family and friends that just made it all happen.
Did you always live here in Miami?
We're really in Fort Lauderdale, which is close to Miami. Mm-hmm. And I always lived here in Fort Lauderdale area, and I started jiu-jitsu here in the Fort Lauderdale area.
Who was your professor?
I started with Pablo Popovich and George Popovich around the early 2000s. I did white to black there. I got white to black with them.
Oh, nice. Was that your intention to go to MMA? Because you did an MMA career. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, when I started jiu-jitsu early on, I didn't know that jiu-jitsu in itself was a sport. I thought jiu-jitsu was a martial art, and the only thing I could do with it was fight.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was what jiu-jitsu was for, meant for fighting. So I spent my early years of jiu-jitsu watching the UFC and fascinating that one day I could fight in the UFC. And then I told myself, and also other people kind of advised me that I should become a black belt in jiu-jitsu before I decide to fight. And then early on, people were like, hey, you should compete in jiu-jitsu to make your jiu-jitsu better. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna figure out whatever this is, these competitions, and get involved. And I started competing, and I kind of grew, a liking to the competition, but always with the mindset that one day I would focus what I'm doing and learning towards MMA. It was always with the principle of like, I'm gonna learn jiu-jitsu, but not to be a competitor, but to fight, you know?
Yeah, and then they give you the advice of getting your black belt. Did you get your black belt before going to MMA?
I did. I got my black belt within 6 months of getting my black belt. I had my first MMA fight.
Oh, there you go, right away, boom. Okay, and how was it when you fought in the UFC?
It was very cool. You know, I mean, how can, every martial artist's dream is to be in the UFC, hear Bruce Buffer say your name, have Joe Rogan interview you. Things of that manner is just surreal, and it's
great memories.
Unreal, yeah, unreal. My first fight was against Cowboy Cerrone in the UFC. That's like memorable moment. Like I said, I've lived a life of dreams. And it's very cool.
Nice. Can you tell us which memories, like best memories fight you have from not even just UFC, MMA, just the one that you remember the best in your head?
My second professional fight was in Bellator against Igor Gracie. So this was a big moment for me because one, you're fighting a Gracie,
yeah,
which is one of the founders of MMA,
the icon family.
The family, the family,
Yeah, exactly.
And then second it was my second professional fight, and I was fighting in a huge event. Bellator was, the event. I feel like they brought me to fight him because I was a jiu-jitsu guy, and I guess they thought maybe I would be an easy fight for him, and it wasn't the case. I ended up winning the fight. And I out jiu-jitsu'd him in the fight. So it was an amazing, amazing moment.
Did you always, by the time you were doing MMA, doing also those jiu-jitsu super fight?
Yeah, they didn't exist,
Yeah.
A long time ago. This all started coming together from, I think, 2016 and after. I don't remember there ever being events like, you know, Polaris, Kasai, Fight to Win, you know, EBI. There wasn't these events in jiu-jitsu when
Only like ADCC.
Yeah, it was
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, ADCC was the only event, and it came every 2 years, and you had to be the elite to get inside ADCC, you know? So it was, I mean, I got into ADCC early on, but it was the only real grappling event that had potential of making money and maybe making a career. So the professional jiu-jitsu scene didn't exist like it exists today. And when I fought my early on MMA fights, I was focused on competing jiu-jitsu, but I was always trying to fight events that were paying money. Like if there was an absolute for money, I would go and do it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But if there was, you know, just a regular jiu-jitsu event, I didn't, like from 2009 to 2017, I never fought a no-gi world championship. You know, which is an IBJJF event because it's a big event, it's a big name event, but they didn't pay any money and I didn't see it as an opportunity for me to make a living off of it. So I was like, I didn't compete in all of those years in that event because it wasn't interesting to me, you know?
Yeah.
But I did do a bunch of other amateur super fights locally and around. I won ADCC trials, you know, 3 times, 4 finals. You know, I went to 4 finals. I lost 1 event. But for me, it was, all right, if I'm going to do an event that's going to give me an opportunity to make money and make a name, ADCC was the only one on my radar. Everything else didn't matter. And then in 2017, I had my last professional fight, and I started training for MMA, and then I really got deep in jiu-jitsu again, you know?
Yeah, because you're still deep in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You're still doing like super extreme fight that we see you do, like those UFC event, right?
Yeah, still doing those, and you know, I was in Australia last year. Did a huge event in Australia. Did 2 UFC events this year. I have 3 fights on Who's Number One. I'm undefeated in my weight class. You know, I had titles, and you know, I was ranked number 1 for almost 2 years.
What do you see as your future? Keeping on doing those like high level.
I'm gonna keep doing it until the wheels fall off. You know, my body feels good. You know, I like training jiu-jitsu. I don't show up here with the like, oh, I have to do this. No, I come every day. I trained in the morning. I did 2 hours in the morning. I do, you know, a couple hours at night every day. I enjoy it. You know, and I had other jobs. You know, I was a carpenter. I was a painter. I cleaned restaurants. I worked as a server. I know what it's like to have a real job. Yeah. So when I get to come here and I get to watch people train and I get to be around others and I get to be an inspiration to some, this is a blessing, you know? This is a truly gifting moment for me, you know?
So can you tell us a schedule of Vagner Rocha, like from Monday to Sunday?
Yeah, easy. I work out 3 days a week. The workouts are not crazy. I'm not lifting a bunch of heavy weights. I do just enough to make sure that my body is right. I do a pushing, a pulling, and an explosion. Each day are different. You know, one day's pushing, one day's pulling, one day's explosion. I do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Mondays, I train in the morning light, and I train at night. Not too heavy. On Tuesday, I train in the morning, heavy, strong, and then I train at night like we did tonight. Not too crazy either at night. And then on Wednesday, I work out and I rest. And resting is just as important as training.
For sure.
And then on Thursday, I repeat Tuesday. So Thursday's like Tuesday. I train hard in the morning, and then I train light at night. On Friday, I work out in the morning, and then I work out in the afternoon, like noon. And then I rest. And then on Saturday, I do the open mat. Boom, done. Saturday or Sunday, full rest, nothing.
There you go. You need that day.
Yeah, the Wednesday is good too. You know, Wednesday, the workout is not heavy. It's usually good. And I do a lot of recovery. Every day I do a lot of recovery. Every day I go in my pool, it's cold, or I do an ice bath, I do a hot bath, I do a sauna, I do jacuzzi, I do something. Every day I do something. It's very, very, very important that you follow, again, like you said, a good routine and you stay consistent. And you respect your body. If I come here one day, even on the days I'm supposed to do something and I feel weird, I don't do it. Just say, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna sit out.
Yeah, you're training smart.
Not hard.
Yeah.
I'm training smart.
You're
That's
training
right.
smart. It's perfect.
I've been doing that, and I do that consistently. I've been doing the same thing for 5 years, and it's why I stay where I stay,
And it shows that it worked because you're still competing at that high level.
And this routine I use even through ADCC. I turn the intensity up on some days, but it's the same routine. It's the same schedule. Yeah. Nothing changes.
Do you go sometime for a tough fight that you know is coming up? Do you go on training camp, or you always train here at your school?
I always stay here. I train in Miami as well. I'm a part of the Fight Sports affiliation, so we round up in the morning, and Cyborg and we get about some days like 10, 15 black belts, and we all train in the morning.
Oh, okay. So
that morning training is harder than this night training, and it's like higher level guys and bigger guys and smaller guys, everybody, and this is what I've been doing since 2009.
So we've been talking about your career. Now let's talk about. So you have 2 kids.
Yes.
They're grown kids.
They're adults.
They're adults. Yeah. They're awesome at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Future champion, that's for sure. I've been watching them. When did you start your school?
I opened doors the beginning of 2008. I started planning the gym around 2007, and then about 3 months after that, after the planning and kind of rehearsing what the goal was, we opened in 2008. And my son Achilles was 4, and my daughter was like 9, and they both started at that time.
They never quit.
They wanted to 1,000 times over. I just never gave them an option. I always said that jiu-jitsu was like school. Mandatory, you gotta go to school, you gotta learn. If you don't go to school, you're not gonna get better, you're not gonna get smarter. Mm-hmm. So for them, it was very important that they understood that they didn't need to be really good, but they needed to go.
Yeah.
They didn't need to compete, but they needed to show up and do their job, their part, whatever that was. And with time, after a long time, they were not good because I didn't put any pressure on them, and I didn't say, oh, you have to be good, you have to drill extra, you have to do. I didn't care, I just wanted them to come. But with time, them doing it for so long, after so many years, what do you do for,
Yeah.
What can you do for 10 years that you're not going to be good at? There's nothing you do for 10 years that you end up not being good at.
Exactly.
And you see my son, he was 4. By the time he was 14, something clicked in him and he was like, oh, I'm good at this. I'm like, yeah, you're good at this. So it's just consistency,
What do you do when a beginner, completely beginner, either say 2 examples, like a young child come, I imagine you talk with the parents, mm-hmm. and then explain us what do you do to introduce him to your school, and what do you do when it's an adult but a beginner also?
So, with beginners, adults, all the staff members here at the school know how important it is that they come and that they're safe, and that the goal is for them to learn something and get in shape at the same time. They cannot come here and get hurt. If they get hurt, then they got to go to work tomorrow. It's gonna be terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It's a very, very important piece of the gym that I keep the beginners as safe as I can for as long as I can. And with the kids, I try to explain to the parents the benefits of jiu-jitsu. And it's not just the benefits of them doing jiu-jitsu, but it's the benefits of them doing anything for a long time. If they, like I said about my kids, if you can come here and bring your child to me, and they're non-athletic or they're whatever it is that they have, the flaw that they have, because we all have flaws, right?
Yep.
If they have a flaw and we can guide them through that and have them understand what their flaw is, whatever their weakness is, and they master that, it is such a gift to be young and to know how to master something. We as adults, most of us don't know how to master something. But when you do jiu-jitsu long enough, you kind of learn how to master that, Learn how to master your mind. You learn how to master your breathing. You learn how to master, that struggle that you're in or that terrible position that you're on, Only with time that they can flourish,
Yeah, for sure. So, and then you said it, for them to be comfortable. Since I put my feet here a month ago and then I came back and forth, it's the first gym since my gym back in Montreal at TriStar.
You feel good in?
And I feel like I'm home. Like
That's
a second family.
That's what I love hearing that, and that's what the goal of this place is, you know? I made this place white because I wanted it to embrace cleansiness, welcoming. I want it to be a light to other people, you know what I mean? Like light, like real light. That's why it's bright, that's why it's white. You want people to come here and feel comfortable and be feeling like they're at home, you know? And that's music to my ears, you know?
It is, and it comes from the heart because it's true.
Thank you.
So people, if you want to come here, I'm telling you, it's awesome. The level is crazy, crazy good for those who like to compete. For those who just want to have fun, they'll be more than welcome. And telling you, the Saturday open mat, wow, 2 to 4.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It's crazy
It's
awesome.
very good. This is probably the best open mat on the East Coast. I really can't see anywhere else having a better open mat. This whole mat gets filled with super high level guys and people from everywhere. I open doors to all the gyms around, and it's just good training, you know?
Yeah.
And if I don't know you, you come here, I'll find you, introduce myself. I try to make sure that you know that you're here, this is my home, and it's your home too.
So that brings me to those 8 last questions that I always like to ask.
Okay?
So, what is your favorite striking technique that you like to do when you were doing MMA?
Both the jab and the calf kick.
As a combination?
Yes.
Boom, boom.
Boom. Yeah, chopping out the legs and keeping the person guessing on the hands.
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect. I like that. What is the worst striking technique that you don't like to get hit with?
I think just a good kick to the body, you know? Maybe a teep or just good freaking roundhouse, like hit the body shot, you know, one of those that you're like, you want to sit, but you don't want to sit because you know it's gonna make you're gonna lose, you know?
Yeah, because getting knocked out, you don't realize it.
You're out.
But
When you hit in the body, there's this trigger in you that makes you say, are you gonna quit? Are you gonna just stop? Like, you know? So yeah, I think it's the worst.
I hear you, yeah. So, okay, that brings me to the Jiu-Jitsu. What is your favorite submission in Jiu-Jitsu?
I have a lot of submissions I like. I've always been a big fan of, you know, triangles and arm bars and kimuras in transition. You know, I like all three of them kind of connected. I think they're always together. So I think triangle was my first love. So I love triangles, and but I don't know. Nowadays, you know, as you get life changes and things get better, you start to figure out new toys, and you like new things. So I don't know. Some people would say kimuras are the ones I like. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep it between those three. You know, not sure.
I like what you said. New toys.
Yeah, new weapons to your game. You know, if you think of yourself as a machine of weapons, you know what I mean? Like you have to put a new weapon in consistently. You have to upgrade your toy. You know what I mean?
So, what would be the worst submission you don't like to get cut in?
Worst submission to get caught in. You know, I tried to think of all the things that are terrible that you can get stuck in.
Can I give you a top 3 then?
Yeah, give me what you think is the top 3.
Oh no, but
Oh, give me a top 3?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I think you know, getting your back taken and then having your arms trapped and then getting choked. I think that's the worst, you know, because it's like, it almost has that feel of desperation, you know? You know what I'm
You
talking
see
about?
it coming.
Yeah, you know it's coming, and it's like you can't do nothing about it, you know? Yeah. I think that's one of the worst.
Okay, we'll take that one. What would be your best exercise you like to do to keep you in shape for your martial arts?
Neck bridges.
Neck bridges.
Neck bridges, yep. Neck bridges, most important part of your body that you can't get hurt. Hurt your neck and it's game over, right? You can end up in a wheelchair, or you can just end up not doing any better in jiu-jitsu. You just fall behind.
What is your favorite meal?
Meal. I like a good ribeye steak. You know, a good either ribeye steak or a good skirt steak. Those are
Yeah,
top of my list.
top of your list. What is your pre-workout meal?
pre-workout meal. I like my breakfast. Oatmeal and eggs, you know. Oatmeal, eggs, and berries. That combination.
The berries is the flavor.
The berries is the antioxidants. The oatmeal is the carbs, and the eggs is the protein. Yeah, and I feel like it just sits in my stomach heavy. It doesn't make me feel nauseous. It just does. And as soon as I'm done training, I'm hungry again.
So, all right, perfect. And after training, what is your post-workout meal?
That I usually don't really have much to pick, but I do like, I like sushi, like a poke bowl, something like that. Some rice, some raw fish, something that is also does not sit too heavy on me, Like I like the steak, but that's not something you can eat all the time. That's why I think it's on my because I know it's almost like a cheat for me, because I know it's not good for me to eat multiple times a week. I can eat once a week is enough,
Yeah. So. What is your favorite gym you like to train in?
Home.
There you go.
I like to be home. There's no other place better than home.
Home sweet home.
Yep.
And where is your favorite place you like to travel in the world?
I like to go home too. I'd like to go home to my hometown. Every time
But your hometown
in Brazil, where I was born.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't go often enough, so every time I get to go, there's just something that every time we're driving in the direction of the place, we have to go up a valley, up mountains, and I get this feeling, and I'm like, this place is different,
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just feels good when I know I'm going. Like I know I'm going in like 2 months. I'm like excited already,
So that's where I want to tell you thank you. Thank you for everything, Vagner.
Thank you.
To welcome me here in your school, to do that interview with me. And I want to finish like I finish every time, telling you the secret. The secret is work ethic. Work ethic is the key to success. Boom.
All right, guys, if you did like that video, please subscribe, like, comment, and also you could share.